Hey Kingdom, today I will show you 4 builds that will make insane party for Tactician difficulty in Baldurs Gate 3. They will be insanely powerful, but also will work on Honor mode. I will explain everything from leveling to items you need to get, and let's start with our main character. To have more chances to succeed in dialogues, we need to have high charisma. That's why we're picking Warlock as our main class. While there is not a lot of difference in different subclasses, I would stick with the Fiend for this one, because Fiend will give us ability to get extra bonus health when we defeat enemies and we want to defeat them a lot. For cantrips we're going with Eldritch Blast and any other cantrip you like Minor Illusion for exploration stuff. For Hex for spells we're going for Hex of course for extra damage, and we can have Armor of Agathos of course. For ability points we're going with No into Strength with 16 Dexterity for Armor class and also for Initiative rolls, Constitution to have more health, No Intelligence, 10 Wisdom for saving throws, and 17 Charisma. 17 Charisma will benefit only main character, and we're looking to have +1 bonus after we're killing some bosses in Act 1. Then our Warlock will reach level 2, and we're unlocking Burning Hand spell with 2 Eldritch Invocations. For Eldritch Invocations we're going with Agonizing Blast that will give more damage to our Eldritch Blast, and Devil Sight so we can see in Magical Darkness. At level 3 we're unlocking spells, and yeah, we're getting our Darkness spell right now. Also we need to pick our Pact, and it will be Pact of the Blade Warlock. You can reach level 3 easily while just exploring map and not contributing into any combat at all, so you don't need to fight to get to level 3. And that's basically where the build will start, but at level 4 you want to pick one cantrip, it can be any, Bone Chill is a nice one. Then you want to pick spell, Misty Step will be great stuff that you can use to reposition yourself just in case. And also you have bunch of feats to choose, and we're going for Great Weapon Master. Yes, that's what we are going for. So, as this type of Warlock, you won't be able to get any good armors right now. That's why our main focus is to get a good weapon. While Everburn Blade will be a nice pick, actually there's another really cool stuff you can have. Sword of Justice is a fun sword. But basically you're looking for any good two-handed weapon right now, especially if this weapon have enchantment. Also in Act 1 you're looking for Broodmother's Revenge. That's a nice amulet that will give you more damage on hit when you're being healed, and you can heal yourself even by using Potion of Healing, and this will dip your weapon in poison. As Warlock, don't forget to use Pact of the Blade, of course, before the fight. You can summon weapon with Pact of the Blade, but you want to use Bind Pact weapon, of course, just to be able to get your weapon in your hands. And this will become magical weapon and start using Charisma instead of Strength or Dexterity for damage rolls. Also, before the fight, Armor of Agathos is a nice choice to have, to being able to get extra health and retaliate damage on hit, because you won't have high armor class right now. Still, we have a really nice utility character. You can start fights by casting Hex on your enemies, and it doesn't matter which Hex you choose, so just cast it. And while you're concentrating on this Hex, you will be able to deal additional damage on hit. Same goes for Great Weapon Master All-In, so your normal hits will most likely destroy your enemies. The only problem you will face is chance to hit most of the time, but it's easy to fix. First of all, you have high charisma, so you can just deal damage with Eldritch Blast, so which will be a lot more usable if we want to hit. Still, critical miss is a problem. When we hit will be a really nice one, because we deal extra necrotic damage from Hex. Actual gameplay that we are looking for from this character is to basically keep concentration on our Hex and probably do some damage with Eldritch Blast while other party members dealing with enemies at this point of the game. Still, you can go in melee range pretty normally and cast Darkness. Keep in mind it will break concentration on your Hex, so pick one style and go with it. And range damaging style will be nice with Hex, but if you want to go into melee range, the Darkness is the key to victory. And how you play around Darkness, basically enemies won't see anything in Darkness, while you completely protected from it. So by turning off Great Weapon Master All-In with advantage, we will have 91% chance to hit, which is pretty good, and we can do it with our sword, we can do it with our Eldritch Blast, and basically deal damage while standing in the dark. And what is coolest part about this darkness? Enemies basically can't see us normally. Don't forget, with Great Weapon Master Aline, you will be able to do 2 attacks in action and using bonus action if you land a critical hit or kill enemy. So that's another really useful stuff, and gives you basically 2 attacks from level 4, which is really good. And now look how enemies will react and do stuff when they see us in the dark. Basically, they can't attack in the dark on Tactician difficulty. So that's the first secret about this build, basically, and the first and main build. Of course, if enemies can't see in magical darkness, they won't attack us. That's the difference between Tactician and Honor mod. In Honor mod, they will try to attack, but here you basically can stand in the darkness and just attack with any spells and skills you like, and be completely protected and safe character for your party. But everything will change when we're going into the mid-late game. So, level 5 is a key level, because with Deepened Pact we will be able to do 2 attacks on one single turn. So we're becoming pretty nice and normal fighter. Also this time you can unlock some spells, and I would go with something like Hold Person for control or Hunger of Hatred for zone control, depending on what your party needs. For this party, I would go with Hunger of Hatred, just in case you don't want to use Darkness and want to be opened to your enemies. You can use this stuff to damage them. Also, you will unlock Eldritch Invocations, and that's where you want to get Repelling Blast, of course, so you can push enemies with your Eldritch Blast. But now, instead of continuing as Warlock, we want to change our class, and this will be Paladin right now. So we're doing Warlock class, basically. And picking subclass of Paladin, we're going with Vengeance subclass. On level 1 there's not a lot of good stuff here, but on level 2 you can pick fighting style, so it will be great weapon fighting, so you will increase damage with your awesome two-handed weapon, but also you will get this stuff from Vengeance Paladin, like spells and most importantly Divine Smite, so we can do a lot more damage just in one single hit. Coolest part though will come at level 8 when you hit Paladin level 3, and it will be Woe Enmity. Normally you need to pick enemy basically and get advantage against him for 10 turns. But even at patch 7 it works like this. You basically can cast it on yourself and have advantage on each attack against each enemy as much as you wish. On level 9 you're getting one more level in Paladin, of course, to get one more feat. And this will be easy and straightforward feat, just add +2 into Charisma and you should have maximum Charisma right now for maximum hit chance. Level 10, we're getting one more level in Paladin to unlock extra attack. So if you combine in Paladin with Fighter, for example, you will have this extra attack feature, and both of them will have this extra attack feature and they won't stack, because it's like the same feature. But for Warlock it's completely different stuff, because Deepened Pact is kinda different mechanic. Also, as Vengeance Paladin you will unlock Misty Steps, so you possibly will want to respec your character and change Warlock spell at this time. And then to become completely OP you want to switch to Fighter, of course. So there's 2 ways how you can finish this build basically. You can continue as Paladin to unlock Aura of Protection, incredibly powerful stuff. And also you can get one more level of Warlock just to unlock more spells and change your Misty Step, for example. But getting 2 levels in Fighter, basically making you completely overpowered Demolisher machine. You can have defense for +1 into armor class, and then unlock Action Surge. So stuff we are looking for in the mid-game. We're looking for UNT Scale Mail. It will add full dexterity modifier to our armor class, and we got 16 modifier, so it's pretty cool. And will give us a lot of armor class at the same time. Since we will be concentrating on some kind of spell a lot of times, Strange Conduit Ring is the great pick for us. It will add additional psychic damage on hit. And that's like main stuff you want to have. Just look for something that gives you damage on hit, look for good armor, because with Paladin you can wear medium armor right now and you can make completely broken character. But later in the Act 3 you want to look for Armor of Agility. It's just buff from UNT Scale Mail. It still will give you bonus to your armor class, but will have more basic armor. So this is really cool armor. And also in the later stages for this character, you're just looking for best and most powerful weapon you can get. And of course you're looking for Baldur's Giant Slayer. You need to defeat strong boss to get this item, but it's definitely worth it. On a hit, you will double the damage from your strength modifier. This weapon will give you advantage on attack rolls against large creatures and have nice enchantment with giant form at the same time. To utilize this weapon though, you need to have something like giant strength potions, of course, because otherwise you won't have this strength bonus to your damage. And in later stages of the game, the fight and style won't change a lot. But that's basically what you want to do from the start of the fight. You want to use your bonus action and channel Oath Charge, which will recharge on short rest, to cast Woe Enmity for higher hit chance. So, for example, with turned Great Weapon Master we get 80% hit chance, but with Woe Enmity, just look, it will be 99, yeah, 96, not bad. And then just start swinging your sword. You can do it in the darkness, so you can just waste your first turn to cast Darkness and Woe Enmity. But most of the time you don't need Darkness right now, since basically you will have advantage from Woe Enmity anyway, and you get really nice and powerful armor class with better gear, like better boots, and maybe like cape will be more than 21. And dealing up to like 50 damage in one hit is really crazy stuff, considering we can do 2 hits in one single turn. And don't forget to go to your reaction tab as Paladin and basically turn on all reactions. So you'll be prompted, do you want to use Divine Smite? And yeah, when you use Divine Smite, upcast it to Warlock spell slot, that's where you will use your magic most of the time. Up to 77 damage, which is completely insane. And most insane is that from the second turn you can use your extra bonus actions just to make more attacks on your poor enemies. That's real insane damage dealer from the melee range, while at the same time being Warlock and having high charisma will give you nice bonus in performance and other checks, and you will most likely succeed in them to completely surprise and basically destroy your enemies with powerful and deadly Eldritch Blasts. This character is definitely cool, but what about our range damage dealer? So, hello Stern. Having the rogue in a party is a nice stuff, but on Tactician difficulty you want to be extra powerful. That's why instead of going with rogue, we need to be a ranger right now and get insanely powerful character. For favorite enemy we're going with a ranger or knight, just in case you will like to have heavy armor on yourself. Natural explorer, urban tracker with 10 strength, so you don't have any penalty, focus on dexterity with 17, 16 constitution for more health and survivability, and wisdom, main spellcasting ability, and also, most important, saving throw. On second level we get in spells as a ranger. It will be Hunter's Mark and Long Strider to give your party speed that this party needs, and Hunter's Mark for extra damage. Fighting style, archery. We're going for range damaging style. Level 3 will give us subclass choice. It will be Gloom Stalker right now. Gloom Stalker can have extra damage on the first round, and its most important round. Ability to destroy enemies before they even able to attack is like no-brainer choice. And we need this choice as is hard difficulty. So, for spell you can go with like Ensnaring Strike, for example. It's a nice spell, but most of the time you will just use Hunter's Mark anyway, so Enhanced Sleep is a nice choice too. And level 4, where like early game ends, is the place where we pick our feat. And again, we want to have ability to deal damage and really high damage. That's why we're going with Sharpshooter feat and getting Sharpshooter all-in ability. It's same as Great Weapon Master Lean. Basically you're going over here, putting it on your hotbar, and now you can toggle it on and off. You will have higher or lower hit chance with it and more or less damage. But leveling is not it. To become really powerful you need right weapons. And our weapon of choice is Titan String Bow. This weapon will deal additional damage equal to our strength modifier. And basically you want to use as much elixirs of heal giant strength as possible when using this character. This will increase your strength up to 21, and you can get as much as you wish of them in Act 1. Like this, our bow will deal additional damage equal to our dexterity modifier, then plus 10 from Sharpshooter all-in, and also plus 5 from our strength. You can see damage roll over here. So even in early game you deal in massive amounts of damage from the round 1. and being able to deal 60 damage in the first round of combat is insanely overpowered, especially if you completely utilize your first turns, and will start by entering into sneak mode, into turn-based and attacking with advantage. This will make enemies surprised, and you will have even extra turn. But most importantly, Dread Ambassador always is a nice choice just to destroy your poor enemies. Don't forget to use Hunter's Mark for even more damage, and this character will be insanely good addition to your party. Still, next levels will be the key to success. We're getting one more level in Ranger to get access to extra attacks, so now you can have basically like 5 attacks before enemy will even act if you surprise them. And also Misty Step for teleportation and relocation. For spells you can pick whatever you like, but later levels in Ranger is not needed. They're completely waste of time, so we want to switch our subclass to Rogue right now. And in the mid-game we're just leveling up Rogue, getting ability to use dashes as bonus action and switching our subclass. This subclass will be Assassin right now. Assassin is extremely deadly. Any successful roll against surprised creature is critical hit, while at the same time you will have advantage on attack rolls against creatures that haven't taken a turn yet. It's not a problem in the mid-game, you will understand why when we go into item section. And also you will replenish your action on combat start, so that's a big deal actually. At this point of the game you want to pick a feat and get ability improvement Dexterity right now. And probably max out your Dexterity at this point if you're using bonus +1 on this character. Or just round up stats with different feats and different distribution a little bit. Level 10 is a nice rogue level because it will give you protection against first hits you take. That's a nice stuff to protect your squish character. And then while you can level even more levels of rogue to get more powerful sneak attack, actually you can go and pick 2 levels of fighter again. So fighter with defense fighting style and action surge at level 12. Items that we're looking for in Act 2 is Knife of the Mountain King. You already should know this item. It will reduce number you need to roll for critical hit by 1. And rolling critical hits is insanely cool when we can deal a lot of attacks in one single turn. But the main problem is our weapon. Our weapon won't have any enchantments and it's basically +0, +1 weapon, so it will be worse and worse when the game goes on. So we need to find the way we can get advantage on attacks so we can have better chance to hit. And Risky Ring is a nice pick to have. Risky Ring is the pick that will give you advantage on each attack roll, but you will gain disadvantage on saving throws, so you need to play extra careful, not being controlled by enemies. And then we're coming into Act 3. That's the gloves we are looking for, and you will gain +2 to attack and damage rolls. Basically it's +2 enchantment to your weapon, and that's why this gloves is so good. And that's how the combat will look like later in the game. You can start fight by just cutting Hunter's Mark, and as you can see, you will regain your action bonus action from the start, thanks to our Assassin's Alacrity. Enemies is surprised, and we will deal bonus damage against them. Don't forget to turn Sharpshooter all in, since we have advantage anyway, and basically the damage will be completely insane. Since we're doing normal critical hit, that is basically doubled with a lot of extra damage. We can do 2 hits from the start of the combat, and we can even trigger sneak attack if needed for even more damage. At the same time, Dread Ambassador is no action, no bonus action like skill, so you can cast this if you want for even more damage to another enemy. And then when you think you're out of actions, basically you can use Action Surge as fighter for 1 more action to defeat one and last enemy. Like that. An extremely overpowered character. But we need some magic in a party. That's why we're creating fighter. Yeah, you heard me right. We're making fighter with defense fighting style. With abilities like this. We're going with 10 strength, 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 16 intelligence, and 10 wisdom. Why fighter? Honestly, for a few reasons. Heavy armor proficiency gives you ability to wear heavy armor, while at the same time you will have constitution saving throw proficiency, so you can add your proficiency to saving throws of constitution and basically keep your concentration. And that's everything the wizard needs. Yeah, for tactician we're going with wizard. We got extremely overpowered melee and range damaging characters. Right now we need some more spice to it, and we're getting Wizard just for one single reason. Wizard can know it all. Wizard can learn every spell. You just need to find correct spell scrolls and then you can learn them, but you need to prepare them in advance before the fight. So for cantrips we're going with Firebolt for maximum damage, and we're going for Fire Wizard, spoiler alert, Shocking Grasp in case someone in melee range, and also we can go for Light or Minor Illusion. For spells it will be Enhanced Sleep, Long Strider, Feather Fall for exploration stuff, Magic Missile of course for early game damage. And then a lot of guys like to use shield for protection, but for this wizard you don't need shield, you're massive, like overpowered machine of destruction with high health, high armor, and that's why we picked fighter at level 1. Just one level in fighter gives so much power. So instead we can use Burning Hands for melee spells and some utility stuff like Sleep, but it will work only in early game. Tasha's Hydro Slaughter is a lot better for wall game. On second level of Wizard we can pick our subclass, and it will be Evocation Wizard. The coolest part, now your allies won't need to do saving throws or take damage from your spells, so you don't need to be precise with what you are doing basically, and that's the coolest part, but it works only on evocation spells. So Thunder Wave for example is a great example. Chromatic Orb, same stuff. And on level 4 we're getting basically spells from level 2, and what you're looking for is the spells like Scorching Ray, it's a great fire spell, and Misty Step for repositioning yourself. Also make sure to find scrolls and unlock spells like Knock for example, Arcane Lock, Enlarge Reduce, and other blue spells useful for exploration. And that's basically the coolest part of Evocation Wizard. You can use Burning Hands on your allies and they won't take any damage, so that's completely free and fun spell to use even when your ally is surrounded with enemies. So just in case your Warlock Fighter, your Assassin Ranger is in trouble, you can just save them like this. But this changes items that we're using in early game. So for this character we will focus on Adamantine Splint Armor. Yeah, we will use heavy armor on this crazy wizard. It's the best early game armor and will make our wizard almost untouchable. Actually, I beat the game on the Honor mod the first time I checked this build while wearing this armor at the last boss fight, so that's a cool part in how powerful this armor is. Then we need the right weapon, and the overpowered weapon from the Act 1 is Spell Sparkler. You will deal damage and you will deal extra damage with lightning charges when you wear this stuff. Insanely powerful, especially with Magic Missile spell, and that's how we will enhance the spell even more by using Psychic Spark Amulet. So this amulet is insanely powerful too, because it will make your Magic Missile basically upcasted, so you'll fire extra Magic Missile and every missile will do additional lightning damage. This wizard is extremely OP. You can go into melee range with crazy armor class. 19 armor class is just insane for wizard at level 4, and in reality you can actually change dexterity and constitution. You can have more constitution for better saving throws and more health. You don't need dexterity when you're wearing heavy armor, but still by dexterity for more initiative rolls. You want to be in turns with your party, and our party really high initiative party. So how powerful is this build in early game? Basically we got such high armor class that the enemies will probably miss us a lot of time, while we don't even care standing we nearby or not, because we can just use Magic Missile from the melee range, and upcasted by this amulet we will fire 5 Magic Missiles at level 4 that will completely destroy this enemy, as you can see, with a lot of lightning charges, extra damage. And this will linger for next turn, so basically on the next turn you will do crazy amount of damage to the next enemy and basically just melt him. And in case you need to give help to your teammates, Burning Hands is the way to go, since Burning Hands won't even damage your teammates. That's the cool part. But most useful spell for now is Magic Missile, just 100% hit rate and incredible damage. Why making random rolls with other spells when you can 100% hit with your Magic Missile? And that's how we continue leveling this wizard. Yeah, so we will learn extra cantrips on the road, and you can pick any cantrips you like, it doesn't matter. That's the spells we're looking for, basically any spells you like, again, since you can learn most of them. I like to have Hold Person on me and Knock spell, but we're taking Feet at level 5. And that's completely easy feat, so it's like super easy to use build. You just bump your intelligence until maximum this time, and the next time when you hit level 9. So that's how you play mid-game. Basically, Fireball is a great spell, and of course Haste for concentration and giving more actions to our teammates. Counter spell to destroy plans of our enemies. And Animate Date, you can have it for fun or just other cool spells. Just make sure you're using like strong evocation spells. Like Lightning Bolt, for example, is a great one too. And wizard like this will have a bunch of different damaging type spells. So for example, you won't have only ice or only fire spells. You can have all of them. Wall of Fire, Ice Storm, and depending on which enemies you fight, you choose your spells. That's the power of wizard. On level 9 feat, again, +2 intelligence. Don't pick Cloud Kill as level 5 spell, it's conjuration, so you will damage your allies, but Cone of Cold won't. I recommend getting summons like Conjure Elemental and Minor Elemental for extra party members and extra power. And level 12 or level 11 wizard will unlock level 6 spells. That's the key level, so you get in level 6 spell slot, and you can unlock Globe of Invulnerability because it's like most overpowered and needed spell on hardest difficulty especially. So later in the game as a wizard, you probably will want to switch to more fire spells, as you already know, and that's where you want to switch your magic missile to Necklace of Elemental Augmentation. Your cantrips will deal additional damage, because you know you're limited with spell slots, so sometimes you just will use Firebolt cantrip and this will do more damage. That's basically it. You don't need a lot of stuff as this wizard. Honestly, you can pick whatever you like if you feel it suits the builds, but in the later stages of the game, in the last act, you want to look for Marka Heshkir. It's legendary mace, legendary quarterstaff for wizards that will give you bonus to attack rolls and spell save DC for spells. You will be able to cast spells without consuming spell slots, very useful for higher level spells. And also it gets nice ability Kereshka Favor that will give you ability to cast more spells for free and deal more damage with fire spells. So make sure you pick and right Kereshka, and it will be Kereshka of Wrath. You will add your proficiency to fire damage dealt. There's one problem with this stuff. Basically, you will not only deal extra damage, but also you will put yourself on fire and take fire damage every few turns. It's not a big deal, because it's probably a big deal if you're playing not this type of wizard, but normal like wizard or sorcerer, since you will take some damage, but in heavy armor you will take 0 damage, as you can see. That's why this build very cool for this fire wizard. Since you're taking 0 damage, you can't break your concentration if you're concentrating on haste or other stuff, and that's what I really recommend you doing. I recommend you concentrating on haste on yourself, so you have 2 actions and you can cast 2 fireballs in one single turn every turn while you're having your spell slots, of course. So again, the key part of this wizard is to being able to prepare the right spells before the fight. Make sure to adjust them every now and then, but most of the time you will just use fireballs as this wizard, since fireball doing really crazy amount of damage. And with this wizard you don't need to aim perfectly. You don't need to aim so you're not hitting your allies. You're just hitting everyone you see, and you won't deal any damage to your allies. No matter you're shooting with lightning, this shot that normally will just destroy your team, especially if they wet, but right now they don't care what you're doing. You can just throw fireballs at yourself and just destroy everyone. That's how you play this wizard. You won't even push your enemies with Thunder Strike, Thunder Wave. Yeah, that's just crazy. That's just crazy what you can do with Evocation Wizard and how it supports this extremely overpowered party. But this party need to survive. That's why we need to get back to Cleric, of course. And since our damage dealers using medium armor, we can use heavy armor as Cleric too. But instead of focusing on light Cleric like previous time, which have this heavy armor proficiency, we want to play as light domain Cleric right now on Tactician. You know why? Because light domain Cleric is most broken Cleric. It's just completely overpowered. But you don't have heavy armor proficiency, and clerics don't have constitution saving throw proficiency. That's why here is a simple solution. Instead of starting as cleric, we're doing completely same stuff and starting as fighter with defense fighting style, but allocating our points not as fighter but as cleric. We're focusing on wisdom and constitution. 16 Wisdom and 16 Constitution is a nice starting point, with 14 Dexterity for initiative rolls and some protection in early game, and 12 points in Strength, so we are able to use our mace as damaging stuff. And right after you start as Fighter, you want to switch back to Cleric. Yeah, by the way, you can like level up to level 5 and respec at level 6 if you want more powerful Cleric, but honestly you don't need to. For skills, again, it will be the same: Guidance, Thaumaturgy for some checks, and Light, for example. Domain will be Light Domain Cleric, of course. And you're preparing completely same spells: Guiding Bolt, Inflict Wounds, Healing Word, and Bless. It's useful sometime if you need high hit chance for your party. And basically we're continuing as Light Cleric. The most overpowered part of this Cleric will be at level 2. Yeah, right now. Basically we'll unlock Radiance of Dawn that using Channel Divinity Charge, which recharged on short rest, which means basically you can use it every fight, and you will deal 2d10 radiant damage, which is insanely powerful stuff. And at the same time, when you get more levels, you're not only unlocking some Cleric spells, and you will learn and prepare spells like 8 that will help your team to survive, basically. So from level 2 it will be 8, it will be enhanced ability, but also you will get always prepared spells from Fire Sorcerer, Fire Wizard, basically it will be Scorching Ray, Flaming Sphere, so you can have a lot of fire damage in your party with this Cleric. You want to have Luminous Armor, it will be medium armor, that's why we have at least some dexterity for this character. And in combination with our Cleric abilities from Channel Divinity, it will completely melt our enemies. And of course we will heal our teammates, so Whispering Promise is just best in slot ring for any Cleric, and that's why we're using it. Still, if you don't like Luminous Armor, it's not like stuff that you need always be using. You can have just nice heavy armor, other heavy armor you will find. There's a bunch of good armors in this game, so you will find some. And how this Cleric fights, basically like any other normal Cleric, but instead of trying to using some Guiding Bolt on solo target, you're going in and using your Radiance of Dawn on all targets in area, dealing crazy amounts of damage like this. And then just focusing on your fire damage. That's why you can easily focus on fire spells instead of radiant spells, and melt your enemies without this luminous armor, in case you want. But that's what happens in the mid-game. Basically you continue as Cleric, getting some cantrips, you don't care. What you care is the feat on level 5, and it will be Warcaster feat, so this will give you advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration. You're not only having proficiency in Constitution saving throws right now, but also you're rolling 2 dice instead of 1. Now you will keep your concentration most of the time, all the time. And that will come in handy from the level 6 when you unlock Spirit Guardians. So, on level 6 you will unlock Spirit Guardians, you already know the spell, it's completely overpowered and super cool, but at the same time you will be able to cast Fireballs. It's just insane how much AoE damage you can deal with Spirit Guardians plus Fireball from your Evocation Wizard. That's just broken. And you will be even more broken on level 7 when you unlock improved Warding Flare. Warding Flare will give disadvantage on enemy attack rolls when they try to hit you, but from level 7 you can do it on your allies. This means when someone attacks your allies, you can basically make enemy miss on purpose every turn as reaction. So this Cleric will use reaction every turn, and that's crazy. Level 8 will give Wall of Fire, now you can have 2 with your Evocation Wizard in the party, and that's crazy party. That will basically burn everything. When you hit level 9 you can pick feat, and it can be ability improvement Wisdom for higher chances to hit with your fire spells and do more damage, and with other spells too, or if you're worrying about your concentration more, you can have +2 into Constitution. So I would pick Wisdom, since Constitution can be lost in other terms, maybe you're falling prone, or like a lot of other circumstances. So being able to hit and do damage is more important in my opinion. And then level 10 it will be Cleric one more time. Cool spells are doing fire and radiant damage like Flaming Strike, which is crazy. Level 10, our Divine Intervention level, so we can summon the most broken mace in the game probably, and also some cantrips, which we don't care at all, but we're unlocking some level 5 spells, which is not useful at all. And basically the spells that you will be using in this Cleric will be Spirit Guardians, Fireball, and Radiance of Dawn, like 3 spells, and that's all you need. But level 12 which is level 11 Cleric, will unlock level 6 spell slot, and our most important Hero's Feast buff that will give advantage on wisdom saving throws, which is really cool against control spells. So weapons you're looking and items you're looking for this Cleric in mid-game. First of all, it will be Blood of Lathander Mace. Of course, this mace is insane, since you can't be downed first time, you will be regain your hit points and get alive again. It's great enchantment and also level 6 evocation spell every time, every long rest, one time. Yeah, that's great. And because you will be eliminated all the time thanks to this mace, the nice ring in Act 2 is Coruscation Ring. When you are eliminated by the light source and doing spell damage, you will inflict Radiating Orb. So 2 stacks of Radiating Orb is already more than enough, and that's why in Act 2 you can either switch to good heavy armor. And when you come into Act 3, you will start doing your main job. Start healing your party more often, because the enemies will be a lot more harder, and that's where you want to have Reviving Hands. When you heal a creature, it gains effects of Blade Ward, basically protection from physical damage, and will make all damage that is inflicted halved. That's crazy, since if you fail to heal your allies when they die, you can revive them, and they will have effect of Dash Ward. Basically, they will revive themselves one time if they dead again, and that's like insanely cool Cleric hand gear. At the same time, you want to increase your spell save DC and maybe have more channels of divinity charges, so Amulet of Devote is really nice and best in slot pick for clerics in later acts. And for weapons, you can still use Blood of Lathander, it's really powerful, or you can use Divine Intervention and just call Arm Tie Servant spell that will give you Devotee's Mace in your hands plus 3 enchantment, with ability to cast the stuff as bonus action from the first turn, and it will heal your teammates every turn for a few turns, which is also insane since they will have bonus to attack rolls every turn, and effect of Blade Ward thanks to Reviving Hands. That's insanely overpowered combination. And let's take a look at this party in action. The fight starts, Lightning Cleric sees that someone wants to attack our friend, and they need to hit for 21. They rolled exactly 21. Why not use Improved Warding Flare to make enemy miss? 2 times in a row, yeah. While our Ranger Assassin coming from behind, attacking with advantage and basically destroying target with crazy damage. Basic damage is 40 basic damage, while at the same time getting back our action and bonus action from the start of the turn. Still, it's not his turn right now, it's our famous Warlock, and we can use Woe Enmity with our bonus action to have advantage on each attack roll, and attack with upcasted Divine Smite up to level 3 Warlock spell slot that will recharge on short rest for like 60 damage. We can easily do it 2 times, and with critical hit it's almost 100 damage, but even then we can use Action Surge for even more damage at the same turn. We get 2 more actions, basically 2 more attacks. And don't forget, we can just render ourselves in darkness and hide here. Enemies on Tactician won't be able to attack, and we can skip our turn. Our Ranger Assassin with Reapply Hunter's Mark by consuming 0 spell slots will apply the stuff to our fellow enemy. And since we have advantage, we will activate Sneak Attack and basically destroy him. Honestly, even without Sneak Attack, but we can't attack into darkness, don't forget. Still, some targets not in the darkness, and that's how we destroy them. Damage is just insane. Just in case our allies need help with hitting attacks, we can easily use our Cleric and make multi-target healing ward, so they will have Blessing and Blade Ward effects on them. Destroy all enemies in area by casting Radiance of Dawn. That will deal 2d10 plus 12 damage at the maximum level, and that's pretty much insane damage, considering they always will have debuff. Or completely melt them with Flame Strike or other flaming spells, like this. But if you don't want to destroy your allies, of course better use your Evocation Wizard, since this wizard won't damage your allies and damage only enemies. As you can see, this party is completely overpowered, but I promised to show you how to get a lot of strength potions for our ranger. So here in Act 1, when you're going into Emerald Grove, you want to turn to the left and go down here. There is a character Auntie Ethel. Since you will have proficiency with this ranger in sleight of hand, you can easily do some sleight of hand stuff. You just need to take away this lady, so talk with her so she looks in other direction, then switch character, and here is the time when we can just go and sneak. But while she will have these elixirs of heal giant strength, probably it will be hard to steal. Right now we need 10, but with lower level characters you will need a little bit more. That's why instead you want to initiate dialogue, go into trade options, and switch into barter mode while splitting these elixirs in pieces. Basically, the lower the cost, the easier the steal will be. So right now it's just 7, -3 to roll to steal this stuff. And you can steal it completely for free, basically. And there's really easy way to reset the shops. All you need is to just press level up on any of your characters. It can be your hireling, and just level up one time. It will reset the shop and you can steal more potions and lotions. If you don't like to mess up with the stealing action, there's another way, our Pact of the Blade Warlock, that works right now. So, you need a weapon and you need to bind this weapon, and just like this. And Pact weapon won't be able to be added to wares, but you can add to wares other items, and by clicking and pressing like Ctrl or Shift you can select multiple items, and now you can add them to wares. Now in trade menu you're just pressing on sell wares, and this will exhaust all gold from our victim. Now you have bunch of gold and you can easily buy everything you need. That's it.